Hey, you ready? Get your skates on.
I've never ice skated before.
You'll be fine. Let's hit the ice.
What if I get hurt?
You're literally covered in armor.
This armor does nothing. Have you seen The Mandalorian? It does nothing. Nothing!
Hello all, I'm Josh, this is Josh Builds Stuff, and today we are talking about this little ice skating rink set. This was a free gift with purchase in holiday 2020 season. It contains 304 pieces, is suitable for ages 7+, and I believe it is valued at $20. But like I said, this was a free set. At least it was free when you spent $150 at the Lego store during the holiday season in 2020, which apparently I did. And full disclosure, I had no intention of buying this set. I was aware that it existed. I was okay with passing it by because there are so many new sets coming out in January 2021 that I was okay waiting for more sets. And then I made the mistake of going down to the Lego store in person with the intention to return some things, again, so that I could have more money saved up so that I could buy more of those 2021 sets. And then I saw the person in front of me in line, they got this little set for free. And then me, I was like, well, that guy got it, why don't I have that? And then I saw the cool winter little elf clubhouse thing, and I was like, oh, that's a pretty neat set, but that was only $100 and you needed to spend $150. And then, you know, I saw this cool Lego chess/checkers set, 1,400 pieces for only like 43 bucks. That's a pretty good price per piece ratio, and that put me over the $150 limit, and then all of a sudden I could get this little set. It also came with this little train poly bag, which I've seen before, and I actually had some of that set already in my collection, but I mean, free's free, right? All that being said, I think this little set is really delightful. It depicts a couple of ice skaters going round and round an ice skating rink, and like I said, my initial opinions is that this set is super charming. But first, let's get to the build, and then I'll give you my full opinions on this set, including a mild rant about Hallmark Christmas movies. You'll see. The build for this set was as delightful as the set itself. There's just something about building holiday-themed Lego sets. It was cathartic and therapeutic almost. You spend a little bit of time building the basic structure of the set, and then next thing you know, you're like, oh, I'm building a little miniature scene. I'm building a little hot cocoa stand, or oh, this is a little pine tree that's just capped with a tiny bit of snow. Overall, like I said, it was delightful. It was quick, only 300 pieces, took less than an hour to build, and I would highly recommend this build to anyone thinking about spending $150 at the Lego store. So what's this little set all about? Well, it's about having a good time down on the ice with your buddies, or maybe with the love of your life, but we'll get to that in a minute. What do we see here? Well, it's a little ice skating rink. There's some kinetic motion going on when you turn the gears. That's actually a cool little mechanical feature of this set. But aside from the ice skating rink itself, we set a tiny little scene. Even though it's only 300 pieces, there's still a lot here. There are a couple little pine trees dotted with just a little bit of snow. There's a box here with just a couple of extra ice skates. There's a lamp post, and we've even got this delightful tiny little cocoa stand with a little bit of money there, being like, hey, you can buy some hot cocoa at the side of the ice rink. For those unfamiliar like I was, since I grew up in Florida, ice skating is where you strap literal knives to your feet and you skate around on a big slippery surface, falling down and getting up and falling down and getting up, and your mom says that it's a fun thing to do. But here's the trick: if you get hurt badly enough, you get to stop and leave the ice. But ironically, what does she put on your hurt knee to make it feel better? An ice pack. Clearly, I did not grow up around ice skating, but these couple of minifigures are regular Joes and Josies about the whole process, and they seem like they're doing just fine as they spin round and round this cool little icy fountain. Maybe they'll stop for some cocoa right after this. You want to know what this set really reminds me of? It reminds me of a Hallmark Christmas movie. And who's this little blonde minifigure there? Well, that's none other than our favorite Full House alum, Candace Cameron Bure, who's only returned home to her small town to visit family for the holidays. But when she heads down to the local Christmas tree farm to pick out a tree with her family, who does she run into but that dude who was mean to her in high school, who's the lumberjack who now runs that Christmas tree farm? And his name's probably Luke or Evan or Mike or something, and they butt heads yet again. But, you know, one thing leads to another. They end up seeing each other across the ice skating rink, and he says, how about just one time around the rink? And she says, well, What's the worst that could happen? Well, it turns out the worst that can happen is that she falls through the ice and ends up in the emergency room being treated by none other than a hunky doctor who she also went to high school with, who was also mean to her in high school. Man, this girl had a hard time in high school. No wonder she moved away from this small town. And then she has to decide between the hunky doctor and the laid-back lumberjack, who actually does pretty well for himself. He owns a whole tree farm and all. Oh, and secretly he's a principal. We don't find that out until the sequel in every single movie. Just goes on, and it's all exactly the same, and you think, oh, it's over, the holiday seasons are over, only for a new Christmas season to roll around next year, and there's carousels that go back in time, and the same thing, and it goes on and on and on. Ranting aside, I do think this set is kind of charming, and I do like the little scene that it sets. I like the little bit of motion that goes on. It kind of does put you in a holly jolly holiday kind of mood. Makes you want to snuggle up on the couch, grab a big mug of hot cocoa, maybe put on a Hallmark movie, or 2, or 3, or 4, or 5. They never end, man. They just keep going. Leave the channel on. They'll just keep playing over and over again, all season long. So my final thoughts on this set, I actually honestly do think it's worth picking up if you're able to. I don't know if it's worth spending $150 at the Lego store unless you were already planning on doing so, but if you're able to spend that money right now, I think it's worth doing to get this little set. That being said, if you really want it, I don't know, spend $20 on the secondhand market and you'll probably get this set just as easily. All that being said, I do hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to like, subscribe, and tell your friends, and let me know in the comments down below if you enjoy Hallmark Christmas movies. Maybe we can gossip about some of our favorites. Again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. And here's a list of your Christmas movie lineup on the Hallmark Channel. Jingle Bell Bride,
Chateau Christmas,
Christmas with the Darlings,
One Royal Holiday,
Never Kiss a Man in a Christmas Sweater,
On the 12th Date of Christmas,
Christmas in Vienna,
A Timeless Christmas,
A Nashville Christmas Carol,
The Christmas House,
A Christmas Tree Grows in Brooklyn,
A Bright and Merry Christmas,
5-Star Christmas,
Love Lights Hanukkah,
Christmas by Starlight,
Deliver by Christmas,
If I Only Had a Christmas,
Time for Us to Come Home for Christmas,
Christmas She Wrote,
The Christmas Bow,
Cross Country Christmas,
Holly and Ivy,
Christmas Carousel,
The Christmas Doctor,
Christmas Tree Lane,
The Angel Tree,
Cranberry Christmas,
A Glenbrook
The
Christmas,
Christmas Ring.